What happened to the masculine and feminine? We raised our standards for what we expect from others, but we didn't raise our standards for who we are. We got clear on what we want, but avoided getting honest about what we actually bring. It's easy to define the character we desire in someone else, but far less comfortable to take inventory of our own discipline, integrity, and emotional maturity. We write these detailed lists of the partner we want, the life we want, but rarely stop to ask if we embody those same standards ourselves. And if we're asking someone else to be everything, while we're only willing to be part of it, then the real question becomes, where is our own integrity in that? We got clear on what we want, but avoided getting honest about what we actually bring. It's easy to define the character we desire in someone else, but far less comfortable to take inventory of our own discipline, integrity, and emotional maturity. And until we close that gap between expectation and embodiment, we will keep asking for something we are not yet aligned with ourselves. We ask for husband energy and wife energy from each other, but rarely stop to ask, what energy am I consistently bringing into the room? If who you are shifts based on how someone else shows up, that's not alignment, that's reactivity. And reactivity will always sabotage the very connection you say you want. Your integrity is not proven when everything feels good. It's proven when you remain grounded, regulated, and consistent regardless of what's happening around you. There are just standards that changed and a conversation that never happened. And because we didn't have the conversation, people filled in the gaps with blame. Men blaming women, women blaming men, everyone pointing outward. Instead of asking a much harder question, who have I become? And what am I actually bringing into a relationship? Because that's where this starts. Not out there, right here. We've been told a story that something broke between men and women, that something divided us, that something created opposition. But that's not what happened. What happened is this: women evolved, and men, in many cases, paused. And that's uncomfortable to hear. But stay with me. Women stepped into independence, not because they wanted to compete with men, because they were done feeling controlled. They were done feeling like their life depended on someone else's decisions. They were done shrinking to fit into a role that didn't feel safe. So they built, they worked, they led, they became capable in ways that were never encouraged before. And that's not a problem. That's evolution. That's strength. That's intelligence meeting opportunity. But every shift has a consequence if it's not understood, because while women were stepping into capability, they also had to step into traits that were rewarded in those environments. Decisiveness, structure, control, performance. Traits that are often associated with masculine energy. And again, this is not wrong. It works in the world. It builds companies. It builds income. It builds independence. But here's where the conversation stops when it should begin. What works in the workplace does not always translate into what creates polarity in a relationship. And if no one says that out loud, people stay confused. Because now you have a woman who is fully capable, independent, driven, structured, protective of her life, and she should be. But then she comes home, and she's still in that same energy, guarded, leading, controlling the outcome. Not because she wants to dominate, because she doesn't feel safe enough to soften. And softness cannot exist where safety is missing. So now she says, I want to be in my feminine. But her body doesn't allow it, because her environment doesn't support it. And at the same time, men are shifting too. Men are being told to open up, to be more emotionally available, to be more understanding, to be more connected. And that is a good thing. That is growth. But growth without structure becomes instability, because emotional awareness without purpose, without discipline, without direction, does not create safety. It creates confusion. So now you have a man who can express his feelings, but cannot lead his life. And that matters, because leadership is not control. Leadership is direction. It is knowing who you are. It is knowing where you're going. It is having an internal compass that does not shift based on emotion. And without that, there is nothing for a woman to trust. So now we have this dynamic. Women who can lead, provide, and structure their lives. Men who can feel, express, and connect emotionally. And both are missing something. grounded direction on one side, safe surrender on the other, and instead of recognizing that, we call it incompatibility. We call it modern dating. We call it a gender war. It's not a war, it's misalignment. Because at the core of this, men and women are not enemies. Masculine and feminine are not enemies. They are complementary forces, but they require something very specific to work together. They require polarity, and polarity cannot exist when both people are in the same energy. A woman cannot relax into her feminine if she feels like she has to lead everything, and a man cannot lead if he does not lead himself. So now both people are compensating. She becomes harder, he becomes softer, not by intention, by necessity, and then they meet each other and feel disconnected, because they are not meeting in their natural strengths. They are meeting in adaptation, and here is where accountability comes in. Not blame, accountability. Because both sides have to look at this honestly. Women have raised their standards, and that's not a problem. That's clarity. Women are no longer tolerating control, inconsistency, lack of integrity, lack of direction, and they shouldn't. But raising your standards also requires raising your self-awareness. Because if you are strong in the world, but hardened in your relationships, you are not creating space for connection. You are protecting yourself from it. And protection is necessary until it becomes your default. Then it becomes a barrier. And men, this is where the conversation gets real. If you are not providing, what are you providing? And this is not just about money, because a woman can make her own money. So that cannot be the only thing you bring. Do you provide direction, stability, consistency, grounded presence? Do you know who you are without needing someone else to define it for you? Do you have discipline? Not when it feels good, when it doesn't. Do you have integrity, meaning your words and your actions match? Do you have purpose? Something you are building that is bigger than your impulses. Because if you don't, then what is she trusting? And this is not an attack. This is clarity. Because the standard has changed, and pretending it hasn't is why people are struggling. And women, if you say you want a masculine man, you have to understand what that actually requires from you. You cannot lead everything and expect to feel led. You cannot control everything and expect to relax. You cannot test a man constantly and expect stability, because energy responds to energy. And yes, this goes both ways. A healthy man will bring grounded strength. A healthy woman will bring peace, not chaos, not control, not competition, peace. And not because she is weak, because she feels safe enough to be soft. And softness is not weakness. Softness is trust. And this is where it all ties back, because none of this works without internal work first. A man cannot lead if he does not lead himself. A woman cannot soften if she does not feel safe within herself. And both require discipline, both require character, both require a relationship with something higher than themselves. Because without that, everything becomes reactive, everything becomes emotional, everything becomes unstable. So no, there is no gender war. There are just people who have not done the work to meet each other properly. There are just standards that have changed without guidance on how to rise with them. There are just individuals trying to connect from places of imbalance. And the solution is not to blame the other side. It is to look at yourself with clarity. Who are you? Not who you say you are. Not who you want to be. Who are you in your actions? What do you bring into a relationship? Not what you expect, what you bring. Because that is what determines what you attract. And when a grounded man meets a grounded woman, something different happens. There is no competition. There is no power struggle. There is no confusion. There is alignment. There is respect. There is ease. Because both people have done the work to show up fully. And that is the standard, not perfection, alignment, character, consistency, truth. So if you're looking at the world right now and wondering why relationships feel harder, don't look out. Look in. Ask yourself, where am I out of alignment? Where am I expecting something that I'm not embodying? Where am I avoiding the work that would actually change my life? Because this is not about men. This is not about women. This is about standards, and whether or not you are willing to rise to meet them.